Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp with a limp, and I'm back with a little more painting for you guys. Today is actually a special day for me. It's my alive day. So, for those of you who don't know, I was actually wounded when I was overseas serving with the Marines, got hit by a landmine. So, I am grateful to still be here. Been taking the day easy, kind of just relaxing a little bit, and I decided to finish it off with a little bit of painting. So I figured I would jump on, throw the camera on, let you guys watch a little bit. And I'm probably going to do it a little bit different than I've done it previously. I'm going to stop it every now and then and show the sections that I'm working on. But other than that, I'm going to have it in fast forward, and I'm going to have like a movie on in the background. But I can't just talk to you guys while I'm doing that because, of course, I'll get hit with YouTube copyright bullshit that they love to do. But I decided to change it up from the one I was originally going to do, which was going to be one of these blitzer guys, because we've already done a couple of zombies. You guys have seen those. So I want to do a zombie next, since we haven't done one of those. Let you guys see kind of how I'm going with that whole scheme. And then I'm going to switch off of the Blood Bowl guys. I'm going to paint those off camera, but it'll be quicker off camera. Get them finished up so I can get a little Blood Bowl going on. But that's because I have this stack of guys that I'm going to be painting up next. And these guys are actually for Blackstone Fortress, which is freaking awesome. I love Blackstone Fortress. These are some of the new rogue traders that you can have from the Escalation expansion pack for that game. So I'm looking forward to painting these up, but these are ones that I'm going to definitely try to paint to my utmost ability. You can see where some of the primer didn't stick on that one, unfortunately. I think my primer can was running out when I was priming these guys, so I got them as close as I could. A little white paint will take care of that. But those are going to be really fun to paint, especially this big, beefy, I can't remember what they call these things, servitors. This big servitor dude here is going to be freaking awesome. It's a character you can only get if you find him in the Blackstone Fortress. So you can't like start off with him, but you can get him. And he's kind of similar to the robot in the way that he operates, real beefy and tough and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying to unlock him and some of these other characters in the game. But we're going to paint those up next because you've seen all the Blood Bowl stuff. So once we do this zombie, show you guys the basics of how that works, we'll kick on to some really cool Blood Bowl or Blackstone Fortress stuff. So the zombie that we're doing is this one right here. You can see a lot of it is necrotic flesh up near the arms, the head. There's this hole in the side where I'm going to try to put in a little bit of rib, a little bit of guts in there. I doubt I'm going to get anywhere near good a paint job as this is, but it looks like it should be relatively easy to do. And my printer just decided to beep at me randomly for some reason. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it quite this good, but a nice just generic brown for the pants and the boots. Do the armor for the pauldrons and then the necrotic flesh. So it shouldn't be too hard to paint. Once those colors are on, hit it with a wash. Like I said, do the green wash for the necrotic flesh and it gives it a real good look. And then we hit a dark wash everywhere else. Should be good to go. And there's a couple of different types of zombies that you can do. So let's grab ourselves some necrotic flesh from Army Painter. I'm going to use this. And do we have a ball bearing in here? Yes, we do. You can hear it. All right, so give me a sec to shake this up, and then we're going to get started. Alright, so looking back at our zombie here, it's not perfect, but I kind of like to try to work inside out, like most people do when it comes to doing your miniatures. That way, any mistakes you make early on aren't that big of a deal. You're going to be painting over them because there's a few things, like on his head, I might touch up some of the hair, a little darken it up, stuff like that. There's a little chain here on his chest that I wasn't too worried about getting paint on it because it's supposed to be dingy anyway, so I'll come back and touch that up with metal later on. A little bit of skin flaps around his wound here in the center. So you kind of start the center, work your way out, keep touching up on things as you go. Let's get this little bit of waist skin right around here. And like I said, this necrotic flesh isn't the final appearance of it. It's going to be a much different color once I finalize it by taking and hitting it with a wash. The wash is really going to bring it out to that next level. But I'm trying to just rotate it around, keep peeking, make sure I didn't miss any spots here or there, which I'm sure I've missed one or two. It's fine. You can touch them up later on. There's one little spot I'm a little concerned about right here. I think that's all flesh. I think that's all arm. It looks like there might be like a wooden board because there's a couple of nails or a big nail kind of poking through. But I can't tell if this is wooden board. I don't think that is. I think we're going to go with all necrotic flesh there, and then we'll just paint those little nails metallic later on because I don't think that's wood. It's kind of hard to tell on it. And if it is, it's not that big of a deal. If it isn't painted the right color, it'll still look good because his arm's tacked on with nails. I like that look. Came out pretty good. Get around the knees. There's one little spot here on the knees. It's just kind of hard to tell with the rotten flesh what is knee and what is pants. So you have to kind of start it and see where the pants flow, where the boots are supposed to be. Okay, but that's looking pretty good at this point. Not great, but perfect. But getting there. We'll hit brown, and it looks like he's got some type of like armor plate here. So I'm probably going to do a metal on that too. Let's see what it shows. It shows that as wood, but it looks kind of like a metal plate. Let's see what the front ones look like. Looks like a little wooden armor piece on it. So I'm probably not going to do that as wood because it's going to match too close to the paint color that I'm going for the pants and the boots and all that other crap. So I'm probably going to, let's see, I'll do that in the same type of metal just to save paint that I'm going to do on his shoulder blades. And I'm actually thinking if I go gray, I might go gray on the boots, do silver on this piece of metal that's tacked his broken foot together. Well, if I'm going to do silver down here, I can do silver here too. That way it's a little different from a shoulder pads. And I can do the darker gray. One of my favorite colors when it comes to army painter war paints is this necromancer cloak. It just looks so good on damn near everything. So let's use this actually on the boots. And what type of brown? Yeah, I think fur brown should work for the pants. And then we got a skull right there in the center. So we'll hit that, and then we'll come back with the glistening blood, and we'll hit that after we do the ribs. That way the ribs will have a little bit of blood and guts on them. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe Warlock purple instead of glistening blood. So it looks more like guts, because it looks like their guts are more of a purplish pink for the intestines than bloody. So yeah, let's try that Warlock purple first. All right, so let's do our boots real quick. Alright, so we got our boots done. Those are going to be a little darker than originally was shown on the box, but I think it'll be alright. So, pants we'll do in this brown, and then we'll take and hit this with silver. This was silver, silver metallic, little bar piece, bone for the little skull on his belt, and the ribs, and then the armor on the pauldrons. We should be pretty close to there. All right, let's hit his pants real quick. Shake this up. Okay, so I noticed something when I was painting it. I'd actually missed in the picture. There's this metal spiky belt. And I was trying to decide, okay, am I going to paint that metal or am I not going to paint that metal? And I was like, screw it, we'll go ahead and paint it metal. Because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm painting stuff, what I'll do, if it's a generic mini, right? So like a mob that you're going to have a bunch of, not as common with like the Blood Bowl, but think, like those dungeon crawlers where you'll have 10 zombies and you're trying to paint them all quick. I'm not going to paint every single small, minute detail because it'll take forever to paint the damn mini and you spend forever trying to get them to look neat. So I'll do that basically 3 color, 3 feet, rule where it'll look decent on the table. If you guys watch my vampire, the Order of Vampire Hunters, a lot of those vampires and bats and stuff like that, I did that. Maybe primed in black and dry brushed with a gray for the bats. And it gave them color, but not a whole lot of time intensive. I could do 6, 7 bats in an evening, get them all cracked out. Didn't have to spend a whole lot of time with it. I'm spending more time with these guys, obviously, since they're Blood Bowl miniatures. But sometimes I'll skip those small little details. Like if it's only a touch of a belt that you can see, I just ignore it. But this one was just a little too big for me to ignore. So I'm going to go ahead and do metal on that. I'm thinking I'll just have the skull on there be metal as well, like it's a belt buckle. So we'll do all that metal, do this little shield on his leg metal, and then down here metal as well. All right, so in the process of going around the belt, I noticed a few other places I have to touch up, like lower back here. There's a little bit of green that I need to touch in. And you're going to notice that as you paint. It's fine. You'll start hitting your other colors and you notice a little spot or you'll make a little mistake here or there. It's really no big deal. You just touch it up as you go along. Remember, you're doing this just for fun. If you don't enjoy the painting, you shouldn't even worry about it, right? If this isn't like something that's relaxing for you, don't worry about painting them. Just go with the base gray mini and call it a day. You know, have fun with the game. But if this is something that kind of relaxes you, just sitting here painting them up, you know, have fun with it. Stuff like that, you know. So I got a little chain right there on his chest I want to hit. And these little notches on his arm. Miss those little spots. So let's touch those really, really quick here. Just a little bit of chain. Come on, don't mess him up. All right, little chain right there. And if it's not perfect, I'm not overly worried about it because, like I said, if it's tiny little details are missed here or there, and I mean like really tiny, not like noticeable missed details, but like just a little tiny spot, you don't usually have to overly worry about it because the wash tends to literally wash that crap away. So it isn't that big of a deal. Let's touch these with a little metal here and there. Oh, tiny little knot right there. So hard to see, but I think we got it. Hit the bottom of this screw. Okay. All right. Coming together. Yeah. Probably hit another little coat on those pants. But remember, all these colors change up. Like I said, when you hit it with the wash afterwards. Now, with this one, I'm definitely going to have to be careful that green wash doesn't get in with the pink. Because actually what I'll probably do with the ribs and the torn up inner part of his body is I'll hit that with the pink and the bone colors. But then hit it with just a little bit of wash of a red to give it a blood look. I think that will bring it out. We'll have to see how well it works out. Put a little browner on that wrist strap, like it's a little leather strap on his wrist. And then the only thing we got left to hit is his pauldrons, which I'll probably do in the next video. Do the pauldrons, a little touch up, a few other little small details, and then we'll hit him with the wash, you know, his inner guts too. Hit him with the wash, and that'll probably finish him up. Because I'm not exactly sure how long this video is going to be, since I'm going to be fast forwarding through a large chunk of it. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you prefer. If you prefer the slower, more methodical video where you don't get to see as much painting, but you hear more of me just talking and rambling on about whatever I'm thinking about at the moment. Because that's all I can do during a painting video. Or if you prefer the way that I'm doing it on these last couple, where I kind of explain what I'm working on and then fast forward through that. Although these videos aren't getting a whole lot of views at the moment, which isn't that big of a deal. It's just extra content for whoever really wants it, to be honest with you, because painting isn't my big thing. I mean, with my friggin' brain injury, there's no way that I'm ever going to be some expert painter. My hands just shake just a little bit. Like anytime I try to like really like focus in, it just starts to, and I can't keep it straight. So I'll never be like touch on like those excellent painters. Although I've seen some people just turn out some just gorgeous stuff. I mean, some of this stuff they put out just will blow you the hell away what they can do with a paintbrush. I saw one guy, he did this D&D miniature that he did like a wet thing. It's kind of hard to describe, but he wasn't using an airbrush. It was like this wet painting. So before the paint that he had applied, and he was applying it on nice and thick, had dried, he was putting on the next color and blending it in. And when he was done with that mini, it looked airbrushed. It looked like he had taken and literally airbrushed that mini together. I mean, it was beautiful. Just some of the talent that some of those guys out there have when it comes to painting. I mean, it just blows you away to see what some of these people can do. I mean, thing of beauty. All right. And, oh, and I think she does painting, if I remember right. There's a girl I've been watching recently, Sword and Steel. I like her Warhammer videos. She had some painting issues like with some painting stuff, and that's what tipped me off to her channel. But I think she's sweet, and people complain there's not enough girls in wargaming. She's definitely really into Warhammer, so go check it out. Sword and Steel, I think, is her name. Real fun channel. Although my tiny little viewership recommending her, it's like, dude, seriously. I appreciate if she give me a shout out, you know what I mean? Although the drama she had really took her to the next level, because I can't remember what it was. Some company copyright claimed her video, I think, because of copyright issues, but it wasn't copyright like she did anything wrong. It was companies arguing over like paint names, and she basically got caught in the middle of it and had one of her videos hard struck over it, which to a YouTuber is a big deal. Now, knock on wood, I've never been hard struck. I've had lots of copyright claims, but I've never had a hard copyright strike against me. Speaking of which, I actually had a fake copyright claim. I might even make a video about it, because I really hate these people now that I've done a little digging on them. And what their deal is they're basically a scam company that will falsify claims against YouTubers. So I had some music in a video, and it's royalty-free music. So no one owns the rights to it, or whoever owns the rights is allowing people to use it freely, which is great. You know, lots of people put stuff out there like that. Sometimes you can get it for subscriptions or for advertising for them. Just depends on what it is. But this scam company claimed my video is claiming that music as theirs. So I typed in their name in Google just to see what came up. And the first thing that popped up was thread after thread in forums about people hating on this company for false copyright claims. Now, I've already disputed it, and I called them out for being scammers, for being scum, for effectively trying to steal, because they want all the money from my video. And it's like a 1.5-minute segment of a 30-40 minute video, and they're saying because of that they get all the revenue, which, I mean, for my videos isn't that much anyway. It's a few bucks, maybe $2 or whatever, but it's the principle of the thing. Don't steal from me. I'm getting nothing as it is anyway. Don't take the little bit that I get, but that little bit can add up, especially if they target smaller people who can't afford lawyers or to fight to defend themselves, whatever the case may be. If they take 2 here, 10 there, 30 there, you know, whatever they're taking, they're going to add up over time. And some people don't fight the smaller claims. Like, they probably wouldn't expect me to fight it, because it sure as hell is not worth getting a lawyer involved to defend for that small amount. But what they've done is I've put in my dispute, and they haven't responded. They have 30 days to respond. So instead of actually responding, I think they just mass put out the claims, and they just hope that people don't dispute them. And if they do dispute them, they don't take the time to actually argue it. They just let it go. But that means that's 30 days where I'm not getting any of the profit from the video. It basically gets held in escrow. And if they don't release their claim within the 30 days, it goes back to me. If they decide to fight it, then I have to provide them my personal information and say, sue me. So I have to put the onus on them. Now, I doubt very seriously they would take me to court, but let's say it's a foreign company, which a lot of these people are. If they sue me there, I can't go defend myself there. I have to hire a lawyer in another country to defend myself from, frivolous theft. YouTube is so shady when it comes to protecting the content creators. And I know I'm ranting here instead of painting, but I just got on the subject. But they're so shady when it comes to protecting us, because we're what made YouTube. Nobody watches YouTube to watch the news or mainstream type content, right? If you want cable content, you get cable and you watch cable. You watch YouTube because you can't see someone paint a miniature on cable. You can't see someone play a board game on cable. You can't see any of the plethora, millions of other things that people have come up with to put on YouTube. I mean, a lot of people become famous off of YouTube, right? And it gives everyone a voice. It gives people a chance to just do things. Hell, if I had it to do over again, I would have started my channel 10 years earlier than I did. I wish to God I knew then what I know now. I would have a massive channel because I would have beat all the other board game channels to the circuit. So I definitely would have had a better start then than, I did now. But these frivolous companies do this crap where they effectively steal from people who are too small to fight back. And that's just, it's disgusting. If I could reach through the screen and throttle them, I would. It's absolutely disgusting what they do. But I put in, like I said, in my dispute, this company is a scam. Here's to the links of numerous people that they have fraudulently made claims against. This song is absolutely, here's the name of the song. It's royalty free. They have absolutely no right to claim this because they do not own the copyright to it. They are thieves. Call them out. I was pissed when I was writing it. All right. All right, so let's finish up here. Next video, we'll pick up with the Pauldrons, right? And a few little small bits, little touch-ups here and there. But hit the guts, small details, and then we'll throw the wash on it, and that will be the zombie. And after that, like I said, I'm probably going to smash the rest of the Blood Bowl guys so I can get rid of them just off camera, because even though I'm not, talking the whole way through this, setting up the camera and doing everything does take a lot longer to get all this stuff painted. But I really want to show you guys this stuff because that's going to look so good, especially, oh man, he's going to be a beast. And I can't wait to get this stuff painted so I can do some more Blackstone Fortress. I have a lot of really cool stuff in the pipeline for you guys. Some really big things. I don't want to spoil the surprises of stuff that I got coming up. It's going to take me a little while to get to it because I just do have so much in the pipe. But there's a lot of good stuff coming on the channel. If you're into war games, if you're into miniatures, stay tuned because I will have good, yummy content coming for you guys. All right, but that's going to be it for me. You guys have any suggestions or questions or anything, feel free to put them down below. Y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one.